private jets, Rolls-Royces, $65 million aircraft, mansions in 3 cities, universities, publishing empires, film studios. These are not the assets of Wall Street billionaires or Silicon Valley tech founders. These belong to preachers. Black pastors who took a pulpit, a microphone, and a message and turned them into some of the most extraordinary financial empires ever built outside of corporate America. Some of them are celebrated. Some of them are deeply controversial. All of them broke the unwritten rule that said, a man of God should stay poor. This is the story of the richest black pastors who rewrote the rules of wealth and why their power goes far beyond the offering plate. Creflo Dollar, founder, World Changers Church International. Net worth, approximately $30 million. Few names in American Christianity generate more conversation or more controversy than Creflo Dollar. Creflo Dollar founded the Christian, non-denominational Georgia-based ministry, World Changers Church International. The church boasts 30,000 members, 350 employees, an 81-acre campus, and mission work on 6 continents. Dollar is highly controversial for his promotion of prosperity theology, the doctrine that financial blessing is the will of God for Christians. He has been widely criticized for his exorbitant lifestyle and refusal to disclose his financial information. He owns a private jet, 2 Rolls-Royces, a $1 million Atlanta home, and a $2.5 million Manhattan apartment. And in 2014, he asked his 200,000 parishioners to donate $300 each toward a $65 million Gulfstream 65, one of the most expensive private jets on the market. The public backlash was swift and ferocious. Even fellow pastors pushed back. But here is what the controversy obscures. Dollar's wealth comes from various sources, including his ministry, book sales, speaking engagements, and investments. He built a global media operation, a record label, a publishing enterprise, and a television show that reaches millions. Love him or loathe him, Creflo Dollar took a cafeteria with 8 people and built a multi-continental ministry empire that generates tens of millions of dollars annually. The rules said a pastor should be humble. Dollar preached that God wanted him rich, and he lived every word of it. T.D. Jakes Bishop, the Potter's House. Net worth, approximately $50 million. If Creflo Dollar is the lightning rod, T.D. Jakes is the statesman. T.D. Jakes is an American bishop, best-selling author, media mogul, and filmmaker with an estimated net worth of $50 million. He founded the Potter's House, a non-denominational American megachurch, in 1996 in Dallas, Texas. With a congregation of over 30,000 members, it has become one of the most prominent churches in the United States. But the pulpit was never the limit of Jakes' ambition. He is the founder of TDJ Enterprises, a media powerhouse that, according to Black Enterprise, had generated $400 million in gross revenue in the previous 2 decades. His publishing efforts have collectively sold more than 20 million copies worldwide, generating an estimated $115 million in gross revenue. Jakes has produced, or executive produced, faith-oriented films, including Woman Thou Art Loosed, Jumping the Broom, Sparkle, Heaven is for Real, and Miracles from Heaven, projects that have solidified his influence in both religious and mainstream entertainment. He has been named among America's top 10 religious leaders by PBS. He was featured on the cover of Time magazine. In 2013, he was reportedly paid nearly $150,000 for a single day of preaching at the Hillsong Conference in Sydney, one of the highest honorariums ever disclosed by any church. $150,000 for one day of preaching. T.D. Jakes did not simply lead a church. He built a multimedia conglomerate: books, films, music, conferences, real estate, all powered by the force of one man's voice and vision. And in 2025, he made one final historic decision. He announced he would step down as senior pastor of the Potter's House, extending its leadership to his daughter, Pastor Sarah Jakes Roberts, passing one of the most powerful black ministries in America to the next generation. The rules said, preachers don't make Hollywood films. Jakes produced them. The rules said, ministers stay in the church. Jakes put his face on Time magazine. Bishop Charles Blake. Pastor, West Angeles, Church of God in Christ. Net worth, approximately $10 million. Not every name on this list built their power through controversy or spectacle. Some built it through sheer institutional dominance. Pastor Charles Blake of the West. Angeles Church of God in Christ earns a $900,000 annual salary and owns a 10,000 square foot mansion in Beverly Hills, while most of his congregation lives in impoverished South Central Los Angeles. The church boasts 20,000 members weekly. Blake served as the presiding bishop of the Church of God in Christ, one of the largest black Christian denominations in America, with millions of members worldwide. He was not just a pastor of a local church, he was the administrative head of an entire religious body that controlled billions of dollars in collective assets. His power was not just financial, it was structural, woven into the organizational backbone of Black American Christianity itself. That kind of power does not come from a TV show or a best-selling book. It comes from sitting at the top of an institution that has served the black community for over a century. The rules said, power comes from popularity. Blake built it through governance. Bishop David Oyedepo, founder, Winners Chapel/Living Faith Church Worldwide. Net worth, $150 to $200 million. Now we leave America entirely because the richest black pastor in the world does not preach in Dallas or Atlanta. He preaches in Nigeria, and his church is so large, it holds more people than most NFL stadiums. David Oyedepo is a prominent Nigerian preacher, businessman, author, and the founder of Living Faith Church, also known as Winners Chapel. In 1981, he founded the ministry, claiming divine ordination through an 18-hour vision. The church's main auditorium, Faith Tabernacle, can hold more than 50,000 worshipers at once and was recognized by the Guinness Book of Records as the largest church auditorium in the world. His wealth is tied to church operations, publishing, and educational institutions, including Covenant University. Oyedepo reportedly owns homes in London and the United States and has 4 private jets. He also owns Dominion Publishing House, a thriving company that publishes all his books, which are often on the subject of prosperity. 4 private jets, a university, a 50,000-seat megachurch, a global publishing empire, branches across more than 300 cities worldwide. His net worth is estimated at $150 to $200 million in 2025, making him one of the wealthiest pastors on the planet and the richest pastor in Nigeria. The rules said, African preachers don't build billion-dollar institutions. Oyedepo built a church that seats more people than most cities have residents. The legacy system, how black pastors really broke the rules. Before we close, let us zoom out. Because the most important thing about the richest black pastors in America and around the world is not the private jets. It is not the mansions. It is not even the net worth numbers. It is the system they built. For over a century, the black church was the only institution in America that black people truly owned and controlled. At a time when black Americans could not own banks, could not sit on corporate boards, could not access mainstream investment, the church was the economic and social backbone of the entire community. Since the advent of televangelism, The revenue streams of churches in America skyrocketed on a massive scale. Most of the big churches established their own television channels to reach more people without paying to have their masses aired on other stations. The pastors on this list understood something that their congregations sometimes struggled to see clearly. The church is not just a spiritual institution. In the hands of a visionary leader, it is a media company, a publishing house, a real estate portfolio, a conference business, a film studio, a university, a global brand. T.D. Jakes didn't just preach. He produced films seen by millions. Creflo Dollar didn't just pastor. He built a television empire broadcasting across 6 continents. David Oyedepo didn't just minister. He founded a university and a publishing company that have educated and equipped tens of thousands. Each of these men took the oldest institution in Black America, the church, and turned it into a multi-industry enterprise at a time when most pathways to Black wealth were deliberately closed. Were there excesses? Absolutely. The private jets, the Rolls-Royces, the fundraising campaigns for aircraft, these details are real, they are documented, and they are legitimately controversial. Critics across the faith community and beyond have raised serious and valid questions about where the congregation's money ends and the pastor's personal fortune begins. Those questions deserve to be asked, but they don't erase a larger truth. Black pastors, from the smallest church on a dirt road in Mississippi to the largest auditorium in West Africa, built financial institutions, community networks, educational systems, and media empires during eras when Black people were systemically excluded from every other avenue of wealth. They broke the rules of wealth because the rules of wealth were never written for them. So they wrote their own from behind a pulpit, and the world is still catching up.